welcome to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. We're back here another week with some special guests here at the Ultimate Deck Shop, hanging out on the Fiberon booth because we've got Shawn Feero and Mike Forfylow from Fiberon here with us today. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Good. Now, Shawn is the regional sales manager for all of Canada, and Mike is the territory sales manager for Western Canada.
Correct.
We just so happen to be in Western Canada and Canada at the same time, so we get to talk to both of you guys, which we really
I don't know
enjoy.
who's luckier.
Yeah. So we have a huge gamut of questions that we really want to get into, some really deep down, dig dirty stuff that we want to talk about. So Mike, let's start with your hair.
It's beautiful.
It's probably the best hair in the industry.
Mike is
Hands
known
down.
in the industry
Hands down.
for his hair.
Hands down.
It's like, I don't know if this is intentional that his last name is Forfylow or if his parents just named him that when it came out.
He probably had a full head of hair when he came out, right?
I would think
Do you have
so.
any pictures?
I don't.
Yeah.
A little Bradley Cooper.
That's exactly like that.
We'll dig around. Yeah, I was born like this.
If you've seen A Star Is Born, you know of Mike. So,
I just watched that on the plane.
Not my best
Fantastic.
performance,
Good
but
movie. Good
yeah,
movie.
but it was okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sean dressed up for the occasion. So.
Yeah.
I did.
We were going to do this as a
Wearing my
YouTube
Fiberon
show
hat.
until Sean showed up and we decided maybe this is best
Fresh
for
that
radio.
party.
Yeah. Anyway, so these guys are from Fiberon. For those who don't know, the Ultimate Deck Shop is a stocking dealer of Fiberon. We really like the product and we love having a chance to talk with people that are closer to it than we even are. So this episode's going to be all about you guys and Fiberon. So
Excellent.
let's make that happen.
Let's
I guess.
break in.
What do we do? Do we find out
So
a
what
little
would
bit
you-
about them?
Yeah, what
Let's,
would you like to know?
yeah, tell me a little bit about yourselves, I guess, first. Intro yourself, tell me a little bit about your jobs, and then maybe even about you personally.
Cool. Shoot, you want me to go first? All right, cool. I am the regional sales manager for Canada for Fiberon. This will be my 7th year with the company. The very good for Fiberon is we recently, at the end of last year, just got bought by Fortune Brands, who is a big $5-6 billion company. They own such companies such as Moen, Master Locks, Therma-Tru doors. We follow under that category with them. And previously, Fiberon was owned by and run by an entrepreneur, his own bucks, his own money. So we were really limited with marketing dollars and kind of backing, et cetera. So going into this year and the next couple of years, it's going to be a big time for Fiberon. And again, I look after all of Canada. Something personally about me, I'm a Leaf fan. We're going to take Boston.
Had
First
to
round.
do that.
First round Boston.
Boston?
First round
Didn't they
Boston.
beat you last
They
time?
did.
Yeah.
Yes, game 7. We
Weird.
blew it. We were up by 3. Yes.
Yeah. I heard the parade
Yes.
route was going to go right down Yonge Street or something.
It actually started, and then we had to stop.
It's halfway
That's
through the
correct.
when they scored the
Yes.
goal.
It was car honking, and then it stopped. I've got 3 kids, 9, 5, and 3. So I live a nice, busy lifestyle, and that's why I travel.
Okay, well, top that, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, my name is Mike Forfylow. I am coming up on 2 years with Fiberon. I guess something about me is I have great hair, and I have
Sponsored
no.
by
I
Head
have
and Shoulders.
That's right. True. And I have no kids, but I'm certainly working on it.
Best line ever.
Don't spit your drink out.
Yeah, so
Cut to commercial.
be careful, because if you get really good at it, you end up in a situation like myself or Sean.
Yes.
Still counting.
We don't believe
Yes.
in surgery. No.
That's right. No.
Absolutely not.
Get me away from the knife. So anyway, to take this back on track, this year has been a big year in the industry as far as the shift in the big brands of composite getting to much lower price points. There's this war between the big 3, of which we would consider Fiberon to be one of the big 3, that everybody's cracking. In Canada, we call it the $3 barrier. In the States, it's probably the $2 barrier. Cracking a price point that's never been cracked before. What's your take on this big war between the 3 of you?
Chinese brands have done that, right?
Oh, 100%.
There's been some that are in the sub 3 for a while, but it's like anything with a warranty or anything that's a quality board,
100%.
we would say is not making it.
I didn't consider those guys to be the big 3.
Right.
I think
Sorry, I dozed off.
The big 3, and then the number 11 guy also has a board. But anyway, the big 3, honestly, there's a quality difference between the guys that Wade's referencing,
For sure.
Chinese products, and the big
For sure.
3. But you guys are very comparable in price points, typically, in quality of boards, et cetera, and warranties, et cetera, et cetera. In in the logistics of your distribution networks are similar, et cetera. But so where's Fiberon's taking this? Is this a good thing for Fiberon that everybody's kind of getting lower price boards, or where does that go?
Me personally, I think this is time will tell. The way Fiberon has been built in my 7 years, and even before that, is we've always had an entry, mid, high level for a cap composite decking material, and then we've also had PVC. So we've always felt, and we built our brand, that we kind of have a price point and a color selection for a load of different customers for you guys, right? Budget point. This year, with this entry-level war, I'll call it, and everybody's emphasis to get closer to wood is what we all really say. But like Wade was saying, I think it's really a lot about hitting export product, right? Chinese product coming in, and that's really, my opinion, that's kind of where we're really attacking the market, because we're seeing it in box stores, certain provinces in the country. To me, it's going to basically change and alter where we are as a company with that good, better, best scenario. And then I think all big three and others are going to kind of change their outlook going in the next year. Because to me, personally, and how we've done so far up to this point, the mid-level is going to be the biggest affected this year. By
100%.
By far.
I couldn't agree with that more. I've said that a bunch on basically any platform that people will listen to me. So like at home when I talk to JJ,
She's not listening to you.
it's just like
That's cute though.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. But the like that mid-range board is going to take a big beating,
100%.
right? So
100%.
people that spend a lot of money are still going to spend a lot of money, and people that are trying to get composites they'll just take the entry-level one.
Correct.
So.
But I think this year more than ever is for the composite industry is hopefully we're able to capture more of the business from the treated side and convert more people into the category with the new price point of the entry-level market. So.
Yeah, it's certainly cut into that a little bit, right? We always have this conversation because we know that's what the big three brands are saying. Yeah. They're like, we're not, like the point of us releasing these lower cost boards is because we're going to try to take away some treated sales. And it's debatable whether that price point has come down enough yet, but it's certainly closer, and that's going to help for sure, right? So now Fiberon's approach to this getting a cheaper board in market is a little bit different than the other two big guys. The other two big guys released brand new products in market.
Correct.
You guys decided to take an existing product, which was great, and just kind of cut the price on it a bit.
Correct.
My next question
And
is going to
create
be...
some, right? They added some new colors. But
added some
same model
ones
but
too.
Put some colors to it, right?
But so you're coming in with do you think that gives you an advantage, the fact that you're using an existing board that has a track record that people are familiar with, to compete against the ones that are releasing brand new products that don't have a history?
I'd say 110%. Yeah, I'm totally on board with that. I think the big advantage for Fiberon and us this year and our partners is that the Good Life entry point line, we cut our margins and our price by a lot, I'll say. I wouldn't even say a bit. I would say quite a bit. And that being done, this is a proven product that's been in the marketplace for 5 years for us in Canada. We haven't changed our capping system, our core, stain and fade warranty, structural warranty has all stayed the same. It's no different than our mid-level and our top level. To me, that's a win because we feel that our customers and contractors and dealers, what are they going to feel more comfortable with? They're going to feel comfortable with a product that's proven, right? Something that's new, which we've tried in the past. There's not really a lot of comfort with that unless it's proven. Build a deck, show me. You know what I mean? We could say all we want about warranty and whatnot, but until it actually sits in our climate, right? You guys, Regina, are completely different than me, West or Toronto. Right, you guys are much colder, drier, etc.
Friendlier.
We're more wet.
Smarter.
Cheer for winning teams. Better hair the further you go west.
That's true. I can attest to that.
That I agree with 100%.
Just imagine if we had a rep from BC. Low and down point.
Who's that guy looking like Fabio, right? Be like halfway down his back.
It might be too much. Like just stopping at Calgary is just perfect, you know?
Just below the ears.
Yeah, just below the ears. Once you get over the mountains, they get weird out there. Anyway, so I mean, we've
100%.
always loved the Good Life line because it is at that price point compared to other products in market. It's super durable. It's a nice, deep embossed graining, which I like. Some people think it's too deep and can get dirty. There are those concerns that come out there, but one of the best looking, best performing, cheap entry level boards, right? And so to see that
100%.
board kind of come down in price from a from a homeowner perspective is great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think the exciting thing for us with that line is with the addition of 3 multi-chromatic colors in that line. Very, very nice looking boards for an entry-level price point. Like, it's a win-win. I don't think you can go wrong with the aesthetics for the board for the cost.
yeah, those. So I think between Wade and myself, there used to be 3 Good Life colors, right? They dropped Villa 2 years ago, last year. So they dropped one of the colors.
A year ago.
Correct.
So then it was kind of down to 2 colors. That was the only real knock against it, right? I mean, there was
Limited.
You didn't have Cortex at the time either. Like, so that was a small knock. But compared to the other guys, they didn't also have Cortex for their entry level boards. Trex, I guess, did. But the knock against it was now you're kind of stuck with 2 colors. Like, this is a great board, but do you like gray or do you like light brown?
Correct.
And if you didn't like either of those, well,
Yeah,
then
but
you're
nobody
out.
liked the other color, right? Like,
Yeah, the other one was orange, right?
No,
So-
no, it wasn't. It was not a good color.
Yeah.
I won't say what it looked like.
Yeah, it was something like you'd find in a diaper, I heard, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you, Mike. I don't have any kids, right?
We can confirm that that's
It's great for family
I
people.
can't.
It's a family board.
Half the audience just went like, "Oh yeah, it was shitty brown." I get that. The other half's like, "I have no idea."
Sure.
But anyways, so this year, all of a sudden, well, like I should say last fall, or whatever, when we first saw them, it was like, "Oh, great! There's 2 new colors and they look amazing." And we jumped on board right away. It was like, "These are going to do amazing." And then fast forward a little bit, it was like, "Hey, there's a 3rd color that came out. We just forgot that we'd made that one or something." I don't know where it was.
We were keeping that secret. Like that time we had those Pro Plug or Cortex for the board. We were keeping that
that's right.
secret from you.
I don't know anything about.
We can announce it on this.
Yeah. So, anyways, now you got this like nice rounded out lineup from Good Life. Obviously, the multi-chromatic ones with the coloring are a little bit more, but they're still a very reasonable price. They're the
Absolutely.
by far the cheapest multi-chromatic board in the Fiberon lineup, and really good performers too.
They're going to crush.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
Like
and good colors,
the colors are
Very
right.
good.
like good
Very
neutral grays, good neutral browns.
Correct.
They're not polarizing by any means, so they'll do.
We've
well.
talked about it before with some of the other brands, and we feel like some of them missed. You know, like the color was, it was pretty close, or this is a nice gray, but it's maybe a little too stark or whatever, right?
Yep.
When Shane and I first saw those, who was it that brought them to us? Was it you?
That was me.
Yeah.
Didn't even know he was coming that day. I don't think. Just rolled up
Just
in
rolled
a
in, was
Suzuki.
like,
We're like,
I brought presents.
yeah, he's like,
You're staring at the hair. Come on.
that's right. We didn't even notice it was Mike. We're like, who's that hair walking in? Oh, hey, Mike.
So he's got boards. Look at this.
Yeah. Pulls a couple boards out of his hair. God, I wish you could see the.
Fantastic.
You wish you could see the actions right there.
And there was a day where there was a good breeze, so it was really blowing.
It was like it was just magical. The boards actually don't look that
So-
good. You sold us on the hair,
So
but comes in, just kind of sits down at our desk and slides across 2 boards. What do you guys think of these? And it was just like silence, and we're like, the hell are those? Those look amazing.
yes, we've done really well year to date so far. The feedback has been better than expected. 100% on
Yeah.
the new multi-chromatic colors.
So, because I like
By
to
far.
keep people humble, that's way better than the last 2 boards you slid across our desk.
That I don't know anything about
Of
either.
course, you have to go there.
Yeah. Hey, it's not home runs all day.
No, it's not home runs. The
we
best
do the
hitters
same
in
thing.
baseball never hit 1,000.
That's right.
Never hit 1,000.
And we all have a pass where we did some stuff.
Wade.
Yeah, it's a
Let's be
long
honest.
list.
We learn what not to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So, inside joke, we're referencing a board that Fiberon made called Relax Decking.
Yep. It wasn't ready for the market, and
Tested it. Shane and I were pretty excited about it. We kept trying to buy it,
Yes.
wanting to buy it, and it just it didn't pan out, and so it is. Luckily, we didn't get stuck with any of it. So that's
Well, me caring about you guys, I wouldn't sell it to you, despite you wanting it.
Yes.
these are the reps that we
You
deal
got a
with,
good
man. They're
partner.
the best
You got a
guys.
good
I was
partner.
looking out for your best interests.
That's not what our emails show. Listen, guys, what do I got to do? Now you touched on a little bit about the Fortune Brands
Correct.
buyout. When we recently visited the Fiberon plant. Thanks to you guys who brought us down there. We did a tour of the plant. It was really great. At that time, the Fortune, what do we want to call it, takeover or sale, whatever, was a little bit more fresh.
Correct.
But it seemed like not only you guys, but right down to your
Plant manager.
plant manager, we call him.
Yes.
To the marketing guys who spoke to, everybody was very excited about this whole takeover. And sometimes that's not the case. When a company gets bought out, you worry about a culture shift or getting lost amongst a bigger brand. But everybody there seemed to be very positive about what this was going to mean. So you touched on it a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about what being owned by this multi-billion-dollar company that has a lot of assets in the renovation market, we'll call it. What does that mean?
I think the big thing is for us just singling out Fiberon. Now we're dealing with a company that financially is going to be able to back us up and take us to new levels in terms of, and we're first to admit it, we're not the biggest brand name in the market, hands down, right?
Well, we've always focused on innovation. That's
Correct.
where our capital's gone.
Correct. I'll admit it's Trex. Trex is the Coke and the Kleenex of the category.
100%.
Thank you for saying Trex and not saying brand T. If you've listened to previous podcasts, you'll understand my frustration with that.
We know where they're at and we know where we're at. We're good on innovation. We were the first company in the 2000s to bring out capping, multi-chromatic decking, stain and fade warranty. That's where you see everybody today. Right, so we want to get back to that, and with the funding and the money that we're going to get backing from the Fortune Brands team, and not just the money, but even the intellect, the process, the way they do things and share with us. To me, that's the second biggest thing is we're going to work with all these different companies like Therma-Tru, Masterlock, Moen, and we're going to learn what was successful for them and bring it on to our company. Because to be honest with you, for how much sales we actually did, and we're one of the big three in this category in North America, we were really a small knit group. We didn't have a lot of people. We were good at what we did, but we're not huge by any
I'm sorry,
means,
as soon as you said Moen, all I could think of was chrome deck boards. When's that happening?
Funny you asked that.
2023.
That's amazing. So I'm glad to hear you say this because a couple episodes ago, I talked about Fiberon being the first to market with a capped composite deck board. And I think I even mentioned the first with the 25-year fade and stain warranty, and then everybody else kind of followed suit. And then I remember saying to myself, at least I believe that's true. I heard that somewhere one time, and I never really researched to find out if that was true. So glad to know it's true. And also the multi-chromatic, I didn't know that one. Yes. So that's very cool. Yeah, very leading edge.
We talk about the multi-chromatic part lots with Fiberon. Mm-hmm. We talk about how, there's so much color variation, right? Yes. Fiberon does an amazing job of the streaking or the coloring in their deck boards, right? I think that's something that everybody chases, unique. Whether they'll actually admit it or not. I think it's something they chase,
for
right?
Sure.
So
our color streaking is all random. You grab 10, 20 footers, you lay them down or lay them against your wall. Not one board's going to look the same, right? To me, that's a pro where you can get a natural, nice looking, exotic wood look for your deck. You just got to understand that when you build it.
Yeah.
And sell it.
Yep.
Now, you guys are also kind of leading edge as far as your contractor programs go. You've had a contractor program, a loyalty program, we'll call it, in place for quite some time, but you've had changes along the way. So tell us the 2019 version of what's going on with your contractor program.
Yeah, I think for this year, the big change with our contractor program is in the past, we've had different levels and the rebates that we offered contractors really didn't start kicking in until you hit a certain plateau. This year, the big change is the rebates begin at $1. So that's the first big thing. So right from your first dollar spent, you'll start earning points, which can then be used to be redeemed for different gift cards or Visa cards of that nature. The other big change with our program this year is our rebates have gotten a little bit richer. So we've added another plateau with a higher rebate for the highest. And the other big thing is we've added our co-marketing funds for some of our bigger contractors. So for guys that have hit the 40,000 plateau, we added a co-marketing fund of $1,500 that they can use for different things in the market to help grow their business. Things like, home shows or truck wraps, wearables. There's lots of different things that they can use that fund for, but that's a big change for our program this year. The other big thing that we've added is a first-time user rebate. And it's actually a 3-time user rebate because you can use 3 different submissions and basically start earning rebates, which is payable via check right from your first job of Fiberon this year.
Yeah. And the only thing I'll add to that is the big thing with us too, once you get to the top 2 tiers of our partner program, you're also qualify for, as a contractor, this is huge, a 5-year labor warranty. Which in this business is massive.
It's huge, right? There's some other people in the industry that are doing that, and it's valued, right? That there are contractors that absolutely value that labor warranty, right?
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure you've heard from one of them, right?
I have not.
Yeah. Well, Marson's pushing the labor warranty for sure with everybody. So, but it's good. That right there is grassroots guys trying to get a hold of you, being like, listen, I want this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's peace of mind, right? It's peace of mind for not only the contractor, but for a homeowner as well, knowing that the product is stood behind, but so is the labor for the contractor if something was to ever go wrong. So
Yeah,
For sure.
it's good.
That's it, that can't be undersold because that labor. So let's paint a scenario. Let's say something goes wrong with maybe the whole deck itself, right?
We're gonna paint
that wouldn't happen with Fiberon, first of all.
Of course it wouldn't happen, right?
We're gonna paint a nice little deck over
deck
here,
board.
right?
But let's say it did. For some reason you had a bad run. Some reason the deck needs replaced because all the boards, whatever, they faded more than they should or whatever. So the cost of the decking is one thing, and Fiberon says, or brand whatever, says, okay, we're going to replace the deck boards, but we're not covering the warranty, the labor.
Yeah.
Well, that homeowner is now stuck to fix their problem.
Correct.
Is stuck paying not only somebody to replace, like to put the new boards on, but to take the old boards off too, right?
Yeah, correct.
So they're getting double dinged on the labor side now.
It's a big expense.
You're only covering a third of the cost for them. It's still a huge expense for them to actually file that claim.
For sure.
And so most would probably just end up disgruntled and be like, well, I'm not going to pay a whole bunch of money to have this redone, whatever. I appreciate you're going to cover that, but
Sure.
like it's your fault
It's a
I have
double
to pay
whammy,
this,
right? You're looking at your customer and your contractor.
Yeah.
Plus where they buy it from.
Yeah.
Right. So really, I said double. Really, it could be a triple whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because so from our side of it, from a retail side of it, we had that happen to us. There was a deck board that came out, it just ran wrong color.
It happens.
That
Yeah.
happens, right?
Yeah.
Boards get installed, customer walks out, sees their deck, was like,
Not happy.
I don't like them. Okay, which ones don't you like? There's 30 boards down. These 7 are the right color. These 23 are not. And so the boards were replaced, right? The company gave us new product back, but they didn't cover the labor, and the homeowner was mad,
Yep.
right? Our distributor stepped up, we stepped up, right? We didn't take it back to the board, but all the way to the customer. Like distributor and us sort of helped that customer get through it, because at the end of the day, I didn't want him to say, don't go to the deck shop, they don't help you. We just helped. We made that like we had to. Right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, the customer doesn't care how it gets covered. They just want to see it covered.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so now I talk about that. That's part of that's just part of the sale of that product. And it's like, sometimes this can be wrong and it doesn't have a labor warranty, so you got to watch out for that. It's going to get you a little bit on the cost.
Yeah, it's probably where the industry is going to keep going. Like labor warranties will become more of a thing, I think, as time goes on. Yeah. It's kind of like if you had a vehicle you bought that had a 5-year warranty on it and something went wrong, you blew the motor in year 2. And the dealership says, okay, the motor's covered, but you got $2,500 in labor. It's like, well, this isn't even a warranty.
Yeah.
Like
are you going to buy that car again?
Right? So there's something about helping them all the way, not just part of the way, for sure.
Yeah, and it's not even the purchase part. It's like, please don't shit talk us to your friends. Right?
Exactly.
That's going to happen, right?
Exactly.
And you can't undo that damage.
Mm-hmm.
So
referrals in the industry are phenomenal, but I'm sure you guys can attain to this. Negative feedback is like 10 times verbal and greater, right?
Yep.
You get
Way
one good
fast.
customer,
more
they're going to tell
damage.
2 people.
Yep.
You get a peed off customer, they're going to tell 10 people.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yep.
Just in spite.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
Now, we glanced over probably one of the, I would argue, the most amazing things to come from Fiberon this year on the Good Life line. Mm-hmm. Just to go back to that a little bit. One of the knocks on Fiberon Good Life before is that you had to face screw it like clips, but your borders and stairs had to be face screwed. Mm-hmm. What are you guys doing to address that?
Our company right now is testing with both Fasten Master and Starborn. So we will be able to offer our customers, you guys, dealers, contractors, our homeowners, we will have a plug system.
That is good news. Hey?
Well, wait.
It'll be with the Pro Plug and with Cortex in the US, and it will be and should be ready by Q2 of this year. So we will be the first scalloped composite deck board to have a plug system, which will be huge.
Okay. So Q2 goes into the US?
No, Q2 goes to Everybody.
Canada.
Okay.
Yes,
Deck-
North America.
deck
So
shop
basically,
first.
Fiberon, the company, will be able to get this product and get it out to our customers.
Right.
Whether you're Canada,
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Europe,
Yeah.
And
United
Ultimate Deck
States,
Shop has
whatever.
already committed to about a truckload worth of
Well,
products. So
we agreed.
Our fastener is fantastic.
I actually remember that conversation. We agreed to that when they told us we'd get it first and have a year timed exclusive on it. So I think that's a fair deal, actually. We'll sell those online. It'll be great.
Listen to this.
Anyway, handshake happened off camera.
Yeah. That's good. So
Yeah, so
good.
that's super exciting. That was the
very
only
goodness.
I know probably most lumberyards don't even mention that, don't care.
Nope.
We do. Like when we say to people, like when they say, "What's the difference between the Good Life one and the ones that are more?" It's like, well, one of the knocks is you don't have the option for plug system because we love those things. We sell them
Yes.
on tons of decks, not because we're pushing them, but because we show people what they are, and they're
Makes
like,
sense.
"Well, I'm doing that."
Yep.
And so that was a knock against that for the longest time. And your biggest competitor, Trex, did have them on their select line. They won't have them on
Yes.
the enhanced line, but they did have them on select. So it was like, that was one kind of check in their columns on their entry level. You could do it. So, like, I think that's awesome.
Yes.
So your whole
Yeah, we're
lineup will
excited.
have it right now.
We're
You'll be the only one that has the entire lineup.
It'll be the
Cortex.
entire lineup, every color.
Fantastic.
well, and ultimately that's what a customer wants, right? The whole thing with a composite deck is they want the hidden fasteners and they want the look of not seeing any screws. So by being able to offer the plugs on all the lines, it really feeds into that.
So, do you know anything about the details? Is there going to be? It needs to be placed in this first inch and a half of the board, or it's got to be right in the middle. You know, because Good Life is scalloped, right?
Yeah.
So,
I can't answer that right now, but
Okay.
my thinking is it's going to be no different than how we say you should face screw without a plug system now. So right now we're an inch and a half away from the ends and an inch and a half or an inch off the sides.
Yeah.
I don't see it being any different. If you know and are familiar with our Good Life product and the way it's scalloped, we have enough meat and material that we'll be able to countersink.
yeah, I feel like you should just write on there, just use common sense. But I don't know that it's as common as
Yeah,
people
but that
would
doesn't
think.
happen. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't know who's building sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Do it yourselfers.
Yeah. Question that you may not know the answer to yet, but are you going to be able to use those on the fascia?
I can say that from the IBS show, Fastenmaster and Starborn are creating and developing both a fascia plug system.
So
yes.
it'll be the fascia plug, not you can't use the regular plug.
No,
You
no,
need
no,
the
no.
wider,
It's gonna be a
shallower
specific-
fascia plug.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Similar to what's happened.
Is my thinking, yeah. I can't say 100%, but I'm going to say most likely.
That's going to come out at the same time, maybe, or is that a fast follower later on?
I'm going to say it's probably going to come out near the same time. Yeah. Starborn will.
Well, now you know who to
Cortex, I can't
hold
answer.
to that. If
Name's
I
Shawn.
didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
telephone number is
Oh, I gave my
416.
name?
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll link you the Instagram handle. You can get at him.
Yeah, that'll be really good. So let's talk about the industry as a whole, maybe a little bit now, instead of just Fiberon, because we can't make this all about you, but we'll find a way to swing back that way. What do you guys see as kind of like the big trends for 2019 in the decking industry as a whole? I know one of your competitors is coming out with kind of multi-width decking. They're being very loud about that. It's something different in the industry. Do you think Fiberon's kind of looking at that and saying like, I wonder if we should see how that goes and then follow that? Or do you have other ideas in mind? Or even like not related to decking, let's say, whatever, putting pergolas on decks or something.
Yeah, no, for sure. The multi-width decking is interesting. I'm probably going to say us and others are probably going to take a wait and see approach and see how that does in the marketplace. It's unique. We've never talked about it or thought about it that I know of. Maybe our development team has. But I could say there is some cool stuff, again, because of Fortune Brands and them taking over and buying us. Our innovation and development team is really going gung-ho in the next year or two. There's a couple cool new things we're doing. We got into recently rain screen cladding, right, using our 20-foot square edge deck boards. That limits us to what kind of projects we can do. It's only an open rain screen application. It's really for a certain client and a certain project. You guys did see at the IBS show, we are doing a cladding 2.0, which will be a lap siding. So now we'll be able to do residential, right? All we need to do is get any kind of drawings or CCMC that we need in Canada to finish the project with. Another cool thing that we're doing is it's called overdeck. So we're basically taking the same idea of the cladding 2.0 and we're doing a lap decking system with its own fastener system that a lot of subdivision homes come out with a concrete pad as opposed to a 10 by 10 pressure treated deck. And these concrete pads don't really look the nicest, right? They're simple and people may not have 20, 30 grand to build a nice backyard living space. So instead, they can actually cover this 10 by 10 concrete pad as an example with this overdecked system. And it's basically going to look like our Symmetry and Horizon decking. And all of a sudden now they have a composite deck.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty
Actually,
sweet.
I totally forgot about that.
It'll come with its own strapping system. Like, it's pretty cool. I think it could be huge.
Yeah.
All right. How many simple like subdivision homes, right? Like towns, semis, whatever, will have this little pad.
Yeah, I
that
think
they
the
may not
big
spend
difference
30
is
grand.
you're not required to have like a sleeper system like is required currently for most composite decking. So it's a totally different system. It's basically an overlay that you can put right over top of the concrete pad.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be neat.
Something different.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
And nothing specific, but again, us working under the Fortune brand umbrella and working with all these different companies, I can tell you now, a lot of us, since already beginning, is going to start sharing secrets and what does Therma-Tru do that we could take into our product line?
I think
what do
that's-
we do that Therma-Tru can use?
That'll be
right?
huge
It's
for
going to
you
be
guys,
massive.
right? You're basically
Massive.
You're now able to draw on Moen's
Huge.
growth.
Huge.
Right? That's like,
Right?
yeah. It didn't even occur to me. I thought about the money part of it, right? You'll be backed financially, and if you want to run
Yep.
a Super Bowl ad or if you want to whatever, you can do all
Absolutely.
of these things, right?
Yep.
Because the funding is there now.
Yes.
But to actually be able to pull some, business failures out
Correct.
of other
Successes,
partners,
knowledge,
right? They're like your
processes.
partners, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
huge.
that'll be good.
Huge.
Yeah, we're excited. It's been a great thing for us, and we're really excited about the future with Fortune Brands and Fiberon
And the deck shop.
and the deck shop, of course.
Especially that one.
Good future here.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't have any more questions for you guys, so see you next week.
That's it?
Do you? I got nothing else left. I think that was a good chat. Do you
That
guys
was
have any
phenomenal.
questions for us? Do you want to do you want to take this another direction, or are we going to end this and sign off and go drink beers?
I would say we'll end this with a thought from you guys, but what's your favorite thing about Fiberon?
Good question.
Come on, you're supposed to. We gave you the questions ahead of time.
I like it. Turn the tables.
So I would say there's two things about Fiberon that I really like. The high-end products, I think, is some of the nicest coloring you're going to see in the market. I think Fiberon, I always tell people, like, this is what Fiberon's known for. These beautiful sweeping colors. Tough to show you on a 2-foot sample or even a 6-foot sample what that looks like. But I always tell people, like, once you've done a Fiberon deck and you stand back and look at it, it's unbelievable. It's fire everywhere, right? There's so much color change. So that's one of the things I like to talk about on the Horizon line specifically. But the Good Life line, I honestly can say is I like selling that entry level deck board because I know there's gonna be no problems. It's durable. I have it on my own house. So I can tell people from experience that I've dragged my barbecue across it. My dog runs around. It's fine. The warranty is great. The graining on it is attractive. So to me, I love the Good Life line. Like if you could, I was glad that you guys added new colors into that line this year. Yeah. Right? Like, we don't need any more colors in the high end boards. Yeah. There's lots there. Yeah. But that Good Life line is such a good one that I was happy to see that there's more color offerings because that was one of the knocks against it. Yeah. The other knock being no Cortex, and you've solved both those this year. So super exciting this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know that my preferences are going to be any different than that.
Do you have a Fiberon deck at home?
I do not.
Oh, jeez.
Yet. Yikes. Like if you guys want to,
We gotta change
if you want to
that.
run a package over, you let me know. I'll send you the
Yes.
invoice. Right?
I do know a deck store.
Yeah.
It's for a home show, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we should build a home show out in the greens. It'd be about 26 by 14 or so.
That makes sense.
So, one of my favorite things, as Shane had said, was the sweeping colors, right? I think that's amazing.
For sure.
My other is that your lineup is so extensive. You guys go from entry level all the way through to a PVC line, right? Mm-hmm. So probably not the most known PVC in the industry, but you guys, you can do that, right? So you can go from now we're talking like a $273, $300, $309 is what we have it at.
Yeah.
So we have
Good Life.
You're starting at $309 with Good Life for us in our store, and then all the way up to like a $650 PVC, and every point in
range.
between, right? And so not everybody can touch that. And I think that's a huge advantage for you. Maybe not for a specialty store like us, but for a lumberyard.
Yeah.
If they want to just add one lineup And we talked about this with the cedar shop, right? I talked to Mitch about it and was like, if you're going to add one line, I think it's a pretty strong one to start with.
Yep.
Cover off so much stuff, right? So,
No, appreciate it.
yeah, the guys are friendly.
Kind words. Thank you.
Football team that you go watch in Charlotte's a lot of fun too.
Good looking.
Good.
The football team is good looking.
No.
Cam Newton's a looker.
Yeah, keep pounding.
Yeah, that was a good time.
And I think we should give a shout out
That was a good
to Tim Percy while we're on here.
Well, we'd be remiss to not.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, shout out to Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
That's
Gonna
good.
be so mad at you.
Yeah. Well, we have places to be. I think we're gonna go hit some dingers and play some Mario Kart or something like that after this.
Sweet.
So let's get off this podcast
do
and
it.
go do that. I think, hey.
Do you guys play ball? Is that like, have you played baseball before? Are we gonna
Never.
get lit up here? You're a ball player.
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah, good.
I told you I'm bunting.
Good.
Contact, baby.
So that's a good sign off. We're gonna head out and go hit some bunts. Watch our social media accounts for that. It'll be really good content. Thanks everybody. Tune in next week. We'll be back at it. Have a good one.